Meeting this session. Will you please join me for the pledge of allegiance? Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Okay. Well, welcome to the 25-26 school year. Happy first day to everybody. And I want to say everybody's here, but blessed. Please, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
I'll second. Thank you.
So we need to follow off the PLC.
Okay, so we didn't get,
We did not get that back in time. So we were hoping to have both the teachers and the PSC bargaining agreement on here. Your PSC writes up their own division, we don't, so we've been waiting and it's not returned yet. I have the ugly draft on the paper.
yeah, well, just a discussion will be to amend the agenda to table the GEA ratification.
PSC.
But it says, it's the one that says GEA on it. I'm not sure why. Classified staff.
Oh, but that's not right.
Yeah, it's the classified teams.
We've got one visitor. Do you have any comments? Do you have anything to say?
I have one question. Because Michelle and I came.
I'm sorry, Steve. Point of,
Do I have to
order.
approve that?
We have to vote on
Okay.
it.
Sorry.
So Sherry, there's also Sherry's question.
Sorry, Steve, sorry.
Okay, and then,
So under the consent agenda, items J.
Very much.
yeah, okay.
Very more.
She just hasn't returned it yet, so we haven't finalized that, so. There's those two adjustments to the agenda, so.
Okay.
Okay, let's do the other one. Sherry, her contract will be delayed next month. And then the
Well, B.
B, the which is actually PSC classified staff will be delayed.
Yeah,
So we're not able to.
I would like a vote, please, to approve the agenda. Say that again.
As amended.
May I please have a vote to approve the amended agenda?
so it would be, sorry,
No,
Andrew.
that's fine, please correct me.
This would be, all in favor of approving the agenda as revised.
All in favor of approving the agenda as revised.
Yay,
Aye.
Thank you.
yeah. Any opposed? No.
No,
Okay.
okay. Do we have to vote on public comment or do I just address that? I would love to hear your question.
So Michelle and I came to the open house Monday,
Mhm.
which was very exciting to see. My question and concern is the PTSO had a table there. And I don't know the name of the rep who was there, but she was openly desperate. She said, we need volunteers or we're gonna shut down. So that's a concern that I have. And I don't know whether the superintendent, whether the district, the school, I don't know how that can be, situation can be helped.
Mhm.
We were actually just talking about that before we came into session here. So,
I know.
Don't have an easy answer.
Yeah, it's kind of sad for the
Yeah.
public on opening day
Mhm.
to, I mean, I admire her for being honest and open. But it's a shame if they are as desperate as they are.
Mhm. I know they had a lot of interest when I was at the booth,
Okay.
so I just hope that they can turn the ship.
Yeah, maybe they fixed it on Monday. next
Yeah.
year.
And a lot of our after-school activities rely on that, we understand that.
Point of order, when we open it up for public comment, we can listen to the public comment, but we're not allowed to get into a discussion with the public.
Steve's not the public.
I know.
We'll take that up privately.
Okay, no student recognition. Announcements. We have, today, the first day of school, August 27th. August 28th is the first day of school for kindergarten and TK. August 28th through September 3rd, kindergarten and TK slow start. Is that just, is that half days or?
They rotate.
Oh, okay. September 1st, Labor Day holiday, yay. September 24th, the next board meeting. Please have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Thank you. We have a vote.
So it'd be the
And,
consent agenda as revised, I suppose.
okay,
it would be a good time to.
so I would say,
comments, because we've had a move and a second,
Yeah,
so is any
is there
discussion?
any discussion? Then we'll move to a vote.
My comment is, kudos to Teat Incorporated for a $1,250 donation for student headphones. And kudos to the admin staff for hiring all these people.
and what does Petite do? What do they do?
We're gonna talk about that, one of their ninth graders now, but a mom who is an architect for this firm. It's infrastructure, consulting firm, and she's an architect. They normally give these grants out to Seattle schools. And she worked really hard to get this for Grapeview School.
Nice.
Because it was kind of like her, thank you for all you've done for my child, and so she worked really hard to do that. Our headphones were like, if you put them on, they were like death traps, you know, so. The kids get new headphones, everyone in the school. So
Wow,
it's
that's
awesome.
nice. Oh,
Wow.
excellent.
Any more comments? Questions? And now I'd like to vote please on the revised consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
100%. And we move on with all these? Yes?
Yeah, we accepted all of that.
Okay. Now on to the principal report, the superintendent, let's go with Jerry.
Come on. All right, so today, first day of school, yay, and it went very smooth. And I attribute almost all of that to Cindy's organization and planning. She's been working super hard and getting everybody in the right places and getting everybody trained and schedules and she had support for sure, but she was leading all that, and today was very good. First day as principal of the school and the kids here, and it was an excellent day, so good job. Moving forward, WASDA, you might have seen this in your information already, but if you hadn't, I wanted to highlight it. That we essentially hire WASDA to write policy for us. They analyze laws and case laws and emerging trends, and they write policy for us to adopt or not adopt. They also rate them, and I thought they updated their rating system. And the new one is critical, important, and then discretionary. And so on this flow chart, it shows a little bit of how they choose those things, those rating systems, and I thought that might be useful for you. It's policies are there to protect us in large part. So I thought you might like to know how they have that set up. We have, I think, in my opinion, a very good practice of keeping updated on policies. We just chunk them out every month, and that keeps us up to date, and that's a very good thing. So I wanted you to be aware of those updated categories in the rating system. I've spoken to you about this in the past, our vision and mission. We've looked at it, I've administrative looked it over and would feel like it's still very relevant. And so I just updated the presentation and I went through this with the teachers on the 20th, and they love it too, right? And I talked with Sherry McGarrett, who was here when they adopted this policy, and she said it really, I look at this and I'm like, this is us, we are like this. And she says it's wasn't necessarily quite like this when she got here, but when we adopted this, it really slowly over time became who we are. And for me, that was an interesting thought experiment on leadership and the value of having a mission. Even if you don't read it and see it all the time, it kind of, when we have it in front of us, it kind of becomes, it influences how we do business and see things. And so we printed up a new one and laminated it to have in front of us. There was no text changes, just reformatted to look a little pretty. So that'll be what you see on our tables as we move forward. So I did talk, I believe last month, about starting a life skills class, and we had a student that we needed to serve, and so we had a staff available, student teacher, then we hired that person to, well, you just hired her just a moment ago. So a moment ago, Julia, to be our special ed teacher, life skills teacher, and with the opening of that class, we had our child that was at North Mason, and their life skills program was super excited that we had that, and has now enrolled and will be joining that classroom. The family cried when they found out they would be able to be here and be served in their home school with their siblings and cousins and stuff. So that's very gratifying to know that we'll be able to do that and serve them. We'll save some money by not paying North Mason, but there'll be other costs. So who knows how that'll work out, but the beauty is we'll be serving our own children. And
So North Mason was happy then?
the parents were very happy. North Mason,
Parents, but
yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't, they were understood, they were fine. There will be future needs. Right now, we're gonna have to be thinking about transportation options and bathroom infrastructure that might better serve kids with higher needs. Right now, we're okay with these two children and how we're able to function, but there could be future conversations and costs involving serving those students. So that's to come.
Yeah,
So.
I like it because it reflects the community to have the children together with the rest of the.
Yeah,
their family.
there are children, and we'll work hard to provide them a great education. You know, I've been working on CTE courses and course approvals, but this last set with Jason, the course frameworks were so radically, so the first course I was able to take frameworks from other schools, bring them over, basically use them and submit them to the state, but nobody was doing his exact course, and so the frameworks required so much revision that we just couldn't do it in time to submit to the state, so we'll still be teaching his computer and tech classes, we just won't be able to collect any enhanced CTE funds for those courses this year, but we'll still be. We'll always report always positive news and good news and successes, right? But this was something I just couldn't get to. We'll still be teaching, the kids will still be learning, but
Let me make a note for
Make a
your
note.
review. Jerry missed one.
this one, drop the ball.
Mm.
So want you to know that, but
We get a 4.5 out of 5,
okay,
just to be prepared.
so that's all I have for my report.
Awesome. All right, Miss Sandy.
All right. The 20th, we had teachers only for staff training, and we had a comp training from iReady. So, training for our assessment suite and the math curriculum that we're sampling. So that was great, and then they had a little bit of team time to collaborate. And it was really good. And then we had staff professional development first day all together, minus the bus drivers were out of training at CK. But we had Jesus Villa Hermosa come in, and you may remember that training, the crisis reality training. We had it several years back. This will be my second time with him. It's kind of timely today, but it's what to do if there's an active lethal threat. And so I had staff members come up to me as well as Jesus and say that that was the best professional development they've ever been to. As a teacher, yes, but also just as a member of society. So it was really good. There's still work to do there. He said we're ahead of a lot of other schools with our point of entry and things that we have going on for safety. But we've identified some areas that we could grow in, which we always can. So to keep everyone safe at all times, no matter what. So that was well received. Open house, saw some of you there. It was packed. It was a hot day. It was over 90 degrees and people came, and even the middle schoolers. So that was a huge success. PTA, PTSO, I'll touch on that a little bit. They switched from PTA to a PTSO, which was a little, they had to do it in order to be in good standing. It just takes consistent people to volunteer. So we did have a lot of interest for PTSO at open house, like you said, and a lot of new families. We'll talk about enrollment, but I think that there's work to do there, so they should be able to thrive. First day of school, law kids interviews, TK interview, family interviews today, all day. So no TK or kindergarten students unless they were with their families, but our A-day kids, because they split the cohort, will come tomorrow and then Friday, and then our B-day kids, the last half of the alphabet will come Tuesday, Wednesday, with all of them in the class together, Thursday next week. So it's a smaller group, we can teach the routines and not have all of those kiddos to teach at the same time. All right, camp, first day of school, I think this is pretty telling. Our new counselor, Becky Nielsen, I had a quick meeting with her after school and she said, I feel different here, the school's different here. Every single staff member cares about these kids. I said, that's how it should be. But just hearing the new staff members who have been at other places, they are loving it here in just our community. So it's good for us. Yeah, senior update. We lost grant funding, so did everyone else. But planning is underway. We are going. And we've had quite a few individual sponsorships, so people in the community that have said, I'll pay for a student to go, and that adds up. So if you keep spreading the word, they can write a check to the school and donate to Camp Seymour. That's wonderful. And then,
Sorry,
yeah,
is that 250 a student?
yeah, $249, so, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
And that's for 3 days, 2 nights, all the meals, everything.
okay,
And
luxury here.
and we've had a lot of family members that said, yeah, but we can pay for our child, so that always helps too. And then we have some community donors, some small businesses that are doing their best to reach out to their clients, so it's just all hands on deck for that, but we're going to make it happen. They will be going in September. Then, speaking, yeah. Oh, sorry, Tom.
And when is Camp Seymour?
So, okay, September 24th, 25th, 26th. Yes, it's that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I couldn't count.
So coming right up.
Yeah. And we pay in October, so, anytime between now and October 1st. Send it our way.
Can we post that to the website and to maybe social media to help spread the word? Is that possible?
You're socially, absolutely, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the more people that know, the better, because 5th grade camp at Camp Seymour is like, oh, it's like tradition, you know? And the families that have been here a long time, chances are their kids went, so you, right? So it means something.
It really does,
It's
yeah.
kids' favorite memory.
The night walks, I mean, like,
Yes.
it holds a very good memory in my mind, so it's, in my heart, it's important.
Yes, I agree, absolutely.
It's a magical place.
Yes.
Wes and I live on the lakeside
Yes.
of our district. And I have the ability to put information in front of the group that is represented by the lakes. People who want to belong to that organization. And I will do that, and I'll just kind of share the story as you've shared it with us. I would rather than them contacting me, I would rather give them a contact who they could contact here.
I did send that organization a letter last month. So I mailed it to the Lakes organization, but before you leave, I will give you the letter,
Okay.
maybe to just post.
Well, we also have the ability to just hit an email that goes to everybody on Mason and Benson Lake.
500 families.
And we could just say, you know, we're school board members and we're members of the Mason Benson Club and blah, 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 blah.
To Facebook.
Here's Cindy's phone number and she's available after 8 p.m. Right? Just call her anytime.
For the kid. Yeah.
We'll get some donations.
Okay,
Yeah.
appreciate it. We really do.
Yeah, so I'll want to get that letter.
I will absolutely, I have one in my office, I'll get it for you. Great, thank you.
Yeah.
I guess my neighbor won't donate, but I don't got kids in the school. Okay.
I think I met that guy.
Yeah, no, yeah, Jim's place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic guy. Yeah, so we'll do that.
Yeah, I'll get
We'll
you the
just
letter.
double up our efforts.
Absolutely, thank you. And then, last but not least, this is kind of, it goes along with the CTE. We were made aware of an opportunity with the Capital STEM Alliance. It's an individual that Jerry knows well, and it's for high school students, but it's a field trip called Try a Trade. We signed our 8th graders up. They're taking a bus and going, to Elma, but it's hands-on learning event with a bunch of different companies that hire people around here, construction, trades, employers, organizations, so bricklayers, carpet layers, cement mason, so many
In
things
other
that
words,
they,
people that know how to do stuff.
yes,
Right, yeah.
they know how to do all the things, and they're going to get hands-on experience and actually
Wow. I
expand their
love
worlds a
that.
little.
That is fantastic.
Yeah,
When does that happen?
this is October 9th.
Is that the fairgrounds in Elma?
It's actually the South Business Park on Technology Lane in Elma.
So remember the,
Oh.
yeah, the cooling towers that were never used, but that's another story.
They promised the same thing that happened to the shrimp at Walmart, won't happen to our students. You know, the radiation. So. But no, that's, yeah, they'll be bright in more than one way. No, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, things
Yeah.
are, I remember.
So
my
how did
dad-
that come about?
She reached out, it just was a email blast and, even though it's for high school students, our 8th graders. Where we live, we have the shipyard, which we already have a great connection with them. But just expanding out to different trades and. They have to start thinking about that, what jobs are they going to get, it goes right along with CTE, so.
So the ESD has a grant, Career Connect Washington, that helps sponsor some of this. Is it Lori?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the superintendent of Elma was a CTE director, and he's nationally known for his involvement in career technical ed, and so they developed that and let us know about it.
I think in 10th grade, they're gonna have an option to, I'm not sure if Running Start has. A trade side to it, I think it does. And so they, if they see something they like. They're only 2 grades away from, or actually a grade and a half, right? I mean, they're kind of. So, so they could get in and get educated on it, before they even get out of high school,
Yeah,
so.
and make connections with people that are
Right.
hiring.
I guarantee that the trades are gonna pay more than a degree in interpretive dance, so.
Sociology or philosophy or on and on and on.
Yeah,
My dad, I remember he went to a career center and said, hey, he was working on the building, like a reconstruction, and he had one mason. There was like one mason in the state of Alaska. And he reached out and said, can these kids come watch us do this? And maybe they're interested in internships, paid. They're like, no, we don't do that. So it's good that
wow,
we're
wow,
offering those types of things.
yeah,
Okay, that's it.
well, if you're the only Mason, you don't want competition, do you?
May I say something? I've watching the open house too,
Yes,
it's
thank you.
wonderful, I mean, your organization skills are amazing. But do you have anything to tell them about the new electives the kids have?
Thank you. Yes.
Because I'm hearing you did this.
Okay, so we have some opportunity with the schedule, so leveraging a schedule is always the goal, but on Mondays now middle school students have an enrichment opportunity. Degina Chilson will be teaching not just ASB leadership, but opened it up to the entire middle school for a leadership class and tying it into our Character Strong. So, ASB, only some kids get to join, right? You have to have a certain amount of votes. Well, not in this leadership class. It's open to everyone and they get to run assemblies and do community service projects. There's also band. Middle school band, Lori Shannon will be teaching that as well as 5th grade band. And then skills for life, different than life skills. We're focused on financial literacy and organization, resumes, job skills, how to talk on the phone with proper etiquette, things like that that will help our kids be productive members of society. And then electives are coding and tabletop games for Trimble, and then Gator broadcast as well as theater.
Wait, tabletop games?
Yes, yeah, I know, right up.
What? That's right up my nerd alley.
They're looking for donations of games.
Oh, man,
Mr. Martin,
The type of
so.
game.
I could give them a ton. Okay, well, I'll see if I can do that as long as I can play. But,
Sure they love that.
We'd have to do a background check.
That's not the place for money.
So we Monday and.
But it'll be an important life lesson, not to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's, wow, that's amazing that we're actually thinking about life skills.
What's the percentage of kids that signed up for the life skills class versus band, or do you know that yet? Like, is it pretty even, or?
Quite a few. Their first choice was skills for life.
Okay.
Because we were talking about. Cause kids will say, put it on your credit card. You know, they're telling their parents, put it on your credit card, and we're like, this comes from somewhere, here's what credit is, so they're interested already in that. Money management and all that, and there are tons of resources out there, so.
I mean, we all took those courses when we were in school, right? And I always wondered if they had gone away because my kids' friends would speak to me in text vernacular, like, hello, you know, hello, Mr. Martin, LOL, and OMG, that, you know, blah, and I'm going, what? You do know you're speaking, right? And so, yeah, I like that. That's great.
I liked, were you the one telling me that they're gonna have to plan a trip? And they're gonna have to budget it and make sure that they don't go over budget? I think that's great. I think that's really cool, and the stuff that they could probably come up with of either going abroad or
Yeah.
going to Disneyland. I'm sure that'll be a popular one.
Yeah. Yeah, budgeting is.
Well, thank you, Cindy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very hard act to follow,
Very numbers most of the time.
We'll just go.
And July is typically not a very exciting month, the end of the year, it's not, fine, maybe costing money. So we have our budget status report, this is through the month of July. That slide is the same as you saw last time, that was after our June enrollment, where our year looked like, so we ended up about 15 FTE above budget, which is a great way to end the year. This page is our general fund expenditures, so that budget column is a different number than you're used to seeing. We did the budget extension last time, it's a little bit higher than it's been in previous months, now that that budget extension was approved and adopted by OSBI. Our July expenditures, where we are for the year, and then what we have encumbered to spend during the month of August will leave us with about a balance after that budget extension of $100,000. So we ended up in a good place to end the year. This next page will show the result of having those additional students, our revenues. We ended up about $400,000 so far, more than we thought we would at this point in the year. But keeping good track of the money, we've only spent about $165,000 more than we planned to for the year. So that's a good story to see. And then on the next slide, you'll see the result of this. So this is our graph that shows our general fund balance. This year is the green line on the top, and you'll see it's higher than quite a few previous years. And that projected ending fund balance on the left-hand side of the screen, it's been a number that starts with 7 ever since I got here. And this month, when I put in July numbers, it turned into an 8. So we're gonna end this year with a higher fund balance than we've had in many years in the past, which is a good thing and planned for curriculum adoption, because now that we have this extra money, Cindy's gonna go spend a whole bunch of stuff. So planning for that curriculum adoption, about $100,000 of that is earmarked for that. So it looks like a big number to go crazy with, but we still got plans for all of it.
Geez, what was going on in 2021? That, I mean, wow.
Yeah, we lived it.
It's almost like some kind of global thing was happening. Yeah, anyway.
All right, the other fund balances, Not a lot of activity in these except for the transportation vehicle fund. You'll see we did get that bus purchase last month. We have a brand new shiny bus that's almost ready for us to use. So apparently new buses sometimes come with a few little quirks, and this one needs a little bit of tweaking before we're gonna get it.
Does it need a new transmission already?
Not, no. We're excited to have it. This is just a look ahead, and like I said, July around here is not terribly exciting to talk about. I already talked about the planning for the curriculum adoption. So that would be new curriculum for the year after this one. And you're trying out the curriculums throughout the year, going to get closer, a real estimate of what that will cost. So hopefully by the next board meeting, we'll have kind of a closer number to be looking at. But the exciting thing is at the top of the page, the enrollment for this year, and we never really know what enrollment is going to be until today, this week, when we see kiddos showing up, when we see their eyes and they're sitting in their seats. Today, our enrollment for 25-26 is 227 students, so just about where we ended last year. There are a few big classes in there, so that'll be a unique challenge, but exciting. It's always exciting when you get a few more kiddos than budgeted for. That's a good problem.
Can you go back to the first slide, please?
The enrollment planner.
The enrollment one, yeah. I thought I saw a negative in there. Fourth grade, what's the negative? 0.03, is that just a typo?
Which, it's the difference in budget. So for the 24-25, we budget enrollment,
Oh,
even
so
though it's not dollars.
Less children than last year.
Yeah, so last
Okay.
year the
Just
budget was
0.03.
great.
I know that, but the three, I was like, what is that? And then for the TK, we have 16. Are we opening up those any extra spots for out of district?
This is 24-25.
Oh, okay.
Because this is just through July. This is the year that just wrapped up. We had 16 students in TK. This year, I have hot off the press enrollment numbers right now. We don't have as many kids in TK. We have 11 in that class right now. So we have room for up to 6 more students if they were to enroll. You might be able to better talk about if we know. Get it.
Everyone in the community has a 3-year-old.
I know, yeah.
But no, 11 is.
It's like something happened after 2021.
Yeah.
But we had 10 and then just this week, another one, so
Okay. That's fine,
Yeah.
right?
it's fine, yeah, it evens out in the other classes.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Andrea.
You're welcome. Any other questions from? No, okay.
Can we move on? Maybe new business and or action item? Discussion ratification of the WEA teacher union collective bargaining agreement. Can I please have a motion to approve the discussion ratification of the WEA teacher union collective?
Am I moving to discuss it or am I moving to approve it?
To approve it, please.
Move to approve the ratification of the WE bargaining agreement.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Any discussion?
I think since they've already worked together without a contract, we should just go ahead with that.
Is there anything we need to know?
I think that our teachers we came to a very fair agreement. And they recognize the value of our community and maintaining fiscal responsibility. And we basically, from me all the way down through all the staff, accepted the IPD as the given raise, if you will, which is what the state gives. So and so that sets us on the financial solid ground moving forward. One of the things that we did see that was particularly new was, we established an incentive, even if it's modest, for, longevity for our staff, so if they've been here, 5 years or 10 years or 15 years in our building, there's, a staggered increase of an enhancement, for them. It's modest, but still, something to recognize them for, sticking with us. And so I think, it, sets us up well with our financial future, which is not necessarily the case in every district, right?
Yeah.
So watching districts in our region and around the state struggle, was, part of our presentation, and they're well informed, and so we got a good agreement, I think. So, anything to add to that?
Just that we relooked and adjusted some of the class sizes to make sure that our class sizes don't get too large without offering the teacher supports.
And so what does that mean?
There can be.
What restrictions have you put on the class sizes?
There were already class size limits in place, so we reviewed them.
I get that, I understand that, but how was it adjusted?
Do you want like the actual number differences or?
Yeah.
I have to look at it, it's 5 different.
I mean, you're asking us to approve a contract, I would imagine that you have some information on that.
What I don't have is what it was at before, so I can only tell you what.
That's okay.
Okay.
Well, Jerry, you would know, right?
I don't
What
have
restrictions are.
We look at the numbers, every class is different and when we get to them.
So for TK, it's a 17 student limit, so if the teacher gets an 18 student, then there's things to.
Oh, yeah.
Kindergarten to
That
grade.
seems like a lot for
Yeah.
for TK because that's high energy,
Mhm.
right?
We also added the ability based on funding, of a paraeducator in the TK classroom.
Okay.
So to get that extra support. Kindergarten to grade 3 is 22 students, grades 4 and 5 is 26. And grade 6 to 8 is 28 students. And then special education, 26 students, and we also added some additional potential days for the special education teachers to work for the administrative workload they have that's different than gen ed teachers.
Is 26 for special education? That seems like that could be variable depending on the needs of the kids, right? So I mean, if someone has a lot of need for attention or, for service, that could reduce that. So is that set in stone then, or? How would
That would be a max number, but always we're looking at, that's why we have quite a few paraprofessionals to help support them when based on the.
So the teacher may ask for support before hitting those numbers, I would think.
Right, we have
Depending
several
on
kids under
class.
caseload that have one-on-ones because they are high need kids.
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Jerry, were there any points of contention?
We went back and forth about a stipend for a special ed teacher. We stuck
Okay.
firm on the days and not a stipend, but then we could track it more easily.
And that's the only real,
That was the first one, yeah.
No, but there was not any contentious bargaining, it's all very pleasant and cordial, they didn't ask for anything unreasonable or out of the ordinary, it was actually a great experience from my perspective.
great deal. Yeah, good.
We put it to a vote, so then Can I please have a vote to pass,
To approve.
to approve the ratification of the WEA Teachers Union Collective Bargaining Agreement, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, thank you.
The classified staff are still arguing.
You're doing
Yeah,
great.
and we'll come back to that. Do I need to announce that?
No,
Okay. The WASDA annual conference is November 20th through the 22nd of this year.
In Seattle.
Interested, anybody interested, wanting to go?
Will it be after the election?
oh, yeah,
Right at,
Right
Will it be
after.
ratified though? Because I was,
I didn't get ratified till
And she-
right before the, I think it was
you're-
in December,
you're
I
right?
didn't either, I was
This
here, I didn't even.
But I went before, and I also advised Jerry that I think he needs at least 6 months or a year under his belt to really understand WASDA and walking through. And I mean, he could go if he wants to, but I just
Maybe
say,
the boot camp online.
yeah.
yeah, I was about to
would
say
strongly
that.
suggest that more than going to
Thank
WASDA.
you.
Yeah, it's just too much. Plus it doesn't have, a lot of, I thought, I've only gone once, and I thought a lot of it had nothing to do with small schools.
Yeah, yes, correct.
Well, anyway, but the online, the year I did it online, the boot camp stuff, a lot of those things are really good.
I think just to get the voting.
Public meeting,
Yeah, yes.
all of these.
Okay, and then, we want to discuss fall board meeting.
Since Les isn't here, why don't we just commit him to going to that?
It's probably football being that weekend.
Yeah, that. We wanted to put forth a couple of dates for you guys and talk about, board retreats. If you could get your calendars out and look at December 6th or December 13th. That won't be on this district calendar because they don't show Saturdays, but.
No, but I was figuring that the 6th was the day after the 5th.
The math wizard.
And I did that without a common core. I didn't divide by orange or anything. I did it all in my head.
Les and I said anything after, those dates would be really hard since it's around the holiday, so.
I would prefer the earlier date.
The 6th,
Yeah, because
that works for me.
the further into December you go, the
Mhm.
more hectic it gets.
That's Saturday,
Mhm,
December 6th.
mhm.
That works for me.
Okay. Well, Jerry, let's put it down. Is the Allen Pier okay still? Do you wanna look at there?
What was gonna charge us a bunch of money last year?
Well, there's another port building that I was thinking of. It's the Port of Honolulu.
Sounds wonderful, sign me up.
there was a discussion about a larger fee, but then they were able to make an exception as a public entity, so we'll look into it and make sure that we can still use it at a reasonable rate.
It's good to know all the commissioners there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, which is,
The Portland Center will be busy that day, where the GCA meets, so we can't do that.
Can't watch that one.
Snacks with Santa.
Oh, yeah.
it's an easy place to.
If you need to rent a place, I don't know if you can go to Belfair, but they have that new
The park and ride.
office by the hour thing.
Oh,
It's called the Heron Building.
yeah.
It's the old John L. Scott.
Chris,
Chris Klusman.
yeah,
And was that by the tab
it's
place? The tabs?
it's a shared office space.
It's right next to the bank.
Okay.
It's very, very nice space.
Yeah. That's the old real estate.
Yeah, John L. Scott.
Yeah,
Either one is,
the port is probably cheaper,
yeah.
but
We'll work on that, and if we need to
I'm just happy we got a date.
Evaluate,
It
we'll-
sounds like it's a date. Old business or action items. Is that the same thing, the general assembly as the conference?
No,
It's not, it's different.
Madam Chair, I would like to, we would take a recess at this time, a short break,
Okay,
okay?
yes. 5 minutes? 10
Yeah,
minutes?
that'll work.
Okay. Time? 5:57. All right, so are you commenting on the laws to general assembly or just
On,
Tom.
last Tom.
Tom and the legislative update?
Yeah, I'm gonna have both of those
Okay.
because the legislative update is this, the General Assembly.
All right, well, Tom, you have the floor.
Okay. I had this urge to say, my fellow Americans. You have in front of you a stapled packet of paper. And it starts on page. Actually, it starts on page 3. If you look at your thick packet. And it's entitled General Assembly. The General Assembly is a gathering of school board directors and the WASDA staff to walk through how the collective school board thought pushed through WASDA so that WASDA can influence or impact the legislation and the legislators for what the school boards believe are the most important things for us to concentrate on and get help from WASDA so that WASDA can take their efforts into the pre-legislative timeframe and the actual legislature, which meets in January each year in Olympia. So the General Assembly is a day and a half as they work through a sizable number of issues and positions. And you've got in front of you page 3, if you can find that. Everybody got page 3? Table of contents?
nope.
It should be early on.
Some did, some didn't.
Brittany has it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Is page 3 before page 16?
It is.
Oh,
So those 17 proposals, along with another 10 more proposals on the next page, these are the proposals that are going to be voted on September 20th of this year. And we're talking about it now because September 20th comes before our September 24th board. Okay. What I can share with you, which will be a relief to you, is we're not going to go proposal by proposal and discuss and get your input on it. But we're going to talk through some of these proposals. And what I'm going to want you to do, if you're willing, is to take the actual proposals listed on page What's the next one? Okay, 16, good. So let's go back to 16. That's how you read through the information. And go ahead and roll to the next slide. There we go. 18 is the first proposal that's going to be considered in the General Assembly. And a little bit of background information. I've avoided participating in the legislative process early on in my school board career here. And as I've watched the state of Washington pass laws and the legislature being influenced on the laws that come down the street into the school system, I've taken more of an interest in it, and I've sat through, I think, 3 prior General Assemblies. And they started on Friday and ended Saturday noon. Fortunately, that's not going to be the case this year. It's a one-day General Assembly, and it's a significantly smaller number of proposals that are going to be considered. So this is an example. It's for amendments submitted to the WASDA board for consideration. And in this case, a couple of school districts have made a recommendation that the bylaws guide how the conference takes place or the assembly takes place and how they can operate and how they cannot operate. So there's a lot of description there, and you've got copies of these pages in your handout. I know it's thick. There's a lot of paper there and it's stapled together. And you remember what we talked about last year? Remember when we did our 10 most important things? And one of them was special education funding increase. Another one was general funding increase. Another one was MSOC, more money to cover the MSOC, which is materials, and help me with the other 2, OC, supplies, and and the reason we have levies is because the state will not fund us adequately to do the things that we believe are part and parcel to strong basic education. Transportation was one of them, better transportation funding. And then there was a number of other ones. Some of those we got some help in the legislature last year. And when I say that we didn't get enough help, my perspective was that we were underfunded again, which creates problems for us. And the flip side of that is I'm glad we got some money above in special education. And I think we got a little bit in MSOC. And so let's just look through the table of contents again on page 3, and we'll talk about a couple of these items. I want you to skip down to capital facilities and school construction, and then funding and school construction funding and allocations. If you look at item number 4 on that list, proposal number 4, which is budget stability, that's an important one. Number 5 is full funding of basic education. Number 6 is transition to kindergarten. And that was one of them that we had strong feelings on. Number 8, equitable PK to 12 school funding. This is an interesting number. 9, federal funding. There'll be some question marks there. Number 11, getting to school safely. Number 13, stabilizing district budgets. Number 14, state revenue for schools. Number 15 is an important one, supporting student mental health and preventing self-harm and governance. 53, number 17 is a really important one to me. Proposal. Parents and families are important stakeholders in their children's education. And I bring that up because we passed an initiative last year to clarify and strengthen that, and our legislature turned around and turned it upside down. And said, no, we're not gonna give you what you asked for in the initiative, but we are going to do this and that, which will be helpful. So I'm very interested to see what happens on number 16.
I think it's interesting that they tell you the school districts that submitted it.
Yes, they always list
I
the
like
school
that.
districts that proposed the legislation or the proposal position, and then right behind it, what does it say?
Do
That
not
Gloucester
pass.
recommends.
Do not pass.
Gloucester recommends either do pass or do not pass. And typically when it's do not pass, some of the reasoning would be it contradicts or conflicts with other proposals that we have in, when I say we, WASDA has, and or the ability, I'm gonna use my language on some of the reasons where they say it's a bad proposal that has been submitted. And it is bad because it I'll go back to what I said earlier. It conflicts with existing proposals and policies that are already in place in the state of Washington. And then you skip down, 3 of them were withdrawn, and then climate change, education and sustainability. Expanding access to re-engagement programs. Some of these I really don't know what they mean because I haven't read through them yet. Here's an interesting one, 25, routes to professional certification. There's a lot of challenges in the state of Washington and school districts finding enough qualified personnel to fill the position of teachers and or paraeducators and or classified staff. And I haven't read this, but I will read it because they're wanting to come in with ways that they can make it easier to get people certified without getting a 4-year degree, for example, in a teaching certificate. Number 26 is an exciting.
How does that make your staff that went through a full degree to feel? Oh, my gosh.
And if you read through the proposal, it'll give you some insight into that. One of the things that does make sense is they're willing to count non-certificated experience as a potential reason why they might be a faster route to professional certification. And this isn't just a Washington State problem, it's nationwide. Unemployment compensation, number 26, that's an exciting one. And school athletics officials. I encourage you guys to go on to the WASDA website if you haven't signed up for it, and avail yourself the ability to get an e-newsletter 5 days a week from WASDA that talks about some of the challenges that are going on in the state of Washington and school districts, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's also national perspectives that get proposed in there as well. So here's the deal. I'm going to be studying these proposals. I encourage you to look through them and maybe just look through those 35 or 40 of them that are on the list. And by the title of it, see which ones pique your interest. And you have my cell phone number, and you have my email address. And if by chance you don't get a hold of Jerry or Brittany and they'll get that number for you. And I've got your numbers and I'll text you my cell phone, from my cell phone. I'd like to hear from you so that I don't go in, just operating from my own wisdom, experience, knowledge, and potentially jaded perspective.
So do you get to go in and give comment to these potential?
Do I have the opportunity to do that?
Yeah.
I could,
Mhm.
and I've listened to hundreds of comments over the last couple of years as I participated in the General Assembly. I choose my willingness or desire to comment very carefully. And
You feel like it falls on deaf ears?
no, I'm not so worried about that. One of the things that I've learned is the quicker we can get through the agenda, the better off we are. There is a power structure in WASDA, and there is a power structure in the schools. And there's people that have been involved as the ledge rep, and they sit on committees. And WASDA has committees made up of a WASDA specialist in that area, and with backup of other specialists, and then a number of board members who are on those committees. And part of those committee members have done their homework and they understand the rules of the procedures, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of them are from big school districts. And I'm going to share this last part and then we're going to be done. You remember last year when I mentioned that there was an amendment made to take away weighted voting of big districts and make all school districts have one vote on these issues. And I tell you what, I listened to all the ways that it was navigated through based on procedure rules, et cetera, and tabling and making amendments to it. And when they finally called for a vote, the measure passed and the big school districts lost their ability to have weighted influence in policy adoptions and procedure adoptions. And that was a good thing, partly because there's a lot more smaller schools. And if you have enough big schools with this weighted voting capability, the small schools' opinions aren't going to get, they'll be overruled. And I trust the process. And so if you can take some time and take a look at it and then give me some feedback, and that will help me get ready, because I'll be getting ready before our next board meeting for the General Assembly. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Okay. You're welcome. I have an extra here, Britt, and I think it's probably one that you can give to Les. And it might not even be a bad idea if Les could get a hold of the candidate who's on the what is on the
There's
ballot.
one down here for less,
Oh, is one down there already?
so, yeah. But if he wants to get one of,
And if anybody else, if either of you two are interested in taking a look at some of the proposals in your spare time. So the ledge rep position that I'm in, and I didn't ask you guys before I signed up to be the ledge rep representing Grapeview School District 54 at the General Assembly, but I figured you'd probably give me a nod to go ahead and do that. And we're still hopeful that we can get Travis, and if not Travis, one of the other, either the rep or the senator for District 35 to come and talk to us either in September or October. That's all I got. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we got policy. So the first reading of policy 3143. This one is notification and dissemination and of information about student offenses and notifications of threats of violence or harm. Alright, this is just the first reading, right?
That's an update.
It's an update, okay.
We already got one.
Discussion,
You know, they tell us kind of what it's gonna be, but just out of curiosity, let's say a kid threatens a teacher and he doesn't have to be in that teacher's class anymore, what do you do with him? You don't have a bunch of sixth grades.
Yeah, we don't have very many options.
Yeah.
Regards to
You just have to figure it out ad hoc.
figure it out with the family and with the counselor and the teacher. Look at the degree of the incidents.
Wow. In there.
Put a desk in the woods, chain link fence around it. I'm kidding over there recording.
All right, any more discussion? We'll put it to a vote.
No.
No?
First reading. First reading.
We'll move on to the first reading of policy 32-100. Non-discrimination, last updated February 25. Discussion. Is this the one with the Boy Scouts?
That's the next one.
Okay, I just want to know why is it with Boy Scouts?
I think it was just an example.
Okay. Okay, can we do?
So, we're on 3210, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, what is the legal definition of neurodivergence? Is that spelled out in here? Neurodivergence is defined as,
The IEP would determine that, wouldn't it?
Well, an IEP would generally.
you can just say neurodivergence and then, okay.
Students with IEPs many times would be considered neurodivergent. I think that it is a catchphrase, a modern euphemism for anybody who's a
Right,
little bit different.
all of my kids' friends say they're neurodivergent, except they seem like the average, just happy-go-lucky kids,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, they're neurodivergent and have blah, 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 and I'm semi-autistic. I'm like, you're semi-autistic? So I just don't understand that. Maybe I'm neurodivergent. That I don't understand. Is it? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of. Okay, so we're saying non-discrimination, right?
Well, I think that we're using as, like how they say before, physical disability, neurodivergent is a physical disability.
It's
correct?
comma, it's a physical disability, comma, neurodivergent, so it's separate,
Mhm.
right? Comma, right? And then, so what I'm saying is, let's say you do something that a kid doesn't like, right? Like, yeah, Cindy was mean to me, and I'm neurodivergent all of a sudden. Well, now Cindy just discriminated against Mr. Neurodivergent kid who didn't want to eat his green beans at lunch or whatever, the thing is. I'm just saying, without defining that, I mean, we know what physical disabilities are, right?
And mental health issues.
Yeah, shouldn't we say diagnosed neurodivergency? Because, you know, kids are famous for, you know, like workarounds. And I just don't want the district to get into a situation where we're being accused of discriminating against somebody that may or may not be whatever it is that they're claiming.
Yeah,
Is this another word for being on the spectrum?
it is often used.
I think so. I think it is.
I'm gonna seek a definition of it, because you're absolutely right that.
Without,
It's not a legal category in regards to special ed law. Of a diagnosed disability. It's a kind of buzz term, a catch-all for somebody who has some differences.
you guys wanna pipe in on this?
I was looking at the legal definition.
I was telling her that I also tried to look up the legal definition a few weeks ago, and there is not one.
That's my point.
Yeah, I'm gonna explore that, because when we start talking policy and legal responsibilities,
Right,
it's worth having a clear definition.
and the other thing is we could add diagnosed. Or some kind of like official.
Why wouldn't you just scratch it completely, cause you're still going, okay, we don't discriminate against your ethnicity, creed, religion, color, your origin, like all of that already.
Disability.
Yeah, and your disability and your physical disability, why do you have to add more
This is-
verses to that?
This is the state's political fad leaking into policy. And what I'm saying is, they don't even know what that means.
I think the same thing that says physical disability, and that's not, I mean, we haven't asked it to narrow that down. Do you have, are you missing a left arm? Or do you have a heart condition, or are you a diabetic? I mean, just a physical disability.
Those are all those are all diagnosed.
But I think that if a kid just comes up and says neurodivergent, you go, good for you, and you just keep going.
No, what I'm saying,
Because
Debbie,
unless he comes in with paperwork that says that, he's just a regular
well,
kid.
Debbie, that's what I'm saying, but the thing is that they could.
Saying that they're neurodivergent.
This is a non-discrimination policy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, if Mr., neurodivergent,
Uh-huh.
He doesn't have to prove that he's neurodivergent.
he doesn't have to prove it, and he can just say, you discriminated against me. Yeah, he can,
Potentially.
if you leave
File a
it the way
complaint
this is.
Say I'm a neurodivergent person and they discriminated against me in this way, they'd have to prove their case, but they would also need
You'd
to
have to-
define what that is.
And why they
But
didn't
we
tell
would
the-
have to prove,
why they didn't tell the school to begin with?
well,
So I'm going to seek
Anyway, I would just
clarity
like
on
some-
that term.
yeah.
I think that's a very fair question. Because we define many other things, and that one is kind of a nebulous term that people can just make up. Yeah, I'll have an answer for you next meeting.
Okay,
What that
Yeah,
means,
yeah.
what their intent is.
great, thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, jeez,
Okay.
summer is coming to an end.
All right, so let's move on to the first reading of policy 4260, school or use of school facilities.
Cause I'm telling you,
Excuse me,
Here we go with the neurodivergence again in this,
Yeah.
in this letter.
this is boilerplate language.
Yeah.
so it's becoming that, and
Well, and that, so this was my question, with disability provides equal access to Boy Scouts of America or other designated youth groups. Why does it have to say, Boy Scouts? Why can't it just say designated youth groups?
that goes way back.
Yeah.
It's down here.
Boy Scouts were Boy Scouts, and there were large groups that thought that were fighting over that, Boy Scouts and trying to keep them away because they kept girls out. And so a lot of legislative bodies started mandating that they not exclude Boy Scouts because they're boys. And so that's why it's in a lot of language, but is that
How dare boys have an organization?
Kids come here very often and want to rent the place.
We have a few.
Can we write in neurodivergent scouts? I think this is
I think
less,
it's limiting people though, right?
I think this is less critical because it's, you know, okay, so you're not neurodivergent, you know, go have fun with your party that you're having here. You know, the other one was an actual discrimination policy, right? And so this is a little bit less, you know, tight on that, I guess. It's like, hey, they want to use the facility and, you know, I mean, as long as they're not the Klan or something, right? We could discriminate against them, couldn't we? Okay.
Is there anything like, do they have to carry insurance or, yeah,
In my school, the gym was a go-to place for huge funerals.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my next tiny town, that's where everybody, like, the funerals, sometimes they were so big they wouldn't fit in the church. So you just have it at the gym. I can't tell you how many people it's at the gym. Anyway, so, but I don't know if they had their insurance or not. Just people showed up.
The neurodivergence definition clarification that Jerry's gonna have for us will help us with this policy as well.
Pretty good. So circle.
So what kind of groups,
That's one.
oh, like the basketball, pee-wee, very cool. Yeah, nice, very nice.
Nice, Jim.
I know that when we did the modernization project here, we had in mind, you know, we're kind of the center of the community. We don't have a downtown. We don't have, I mean, we have a weird defunct gas station here that's turning into some weird commune, right? With big, you know, I mean, strange. And then we have a post office and that's about it, right? And so we were thinking that this could be the center of events, if, you know, a larger event place in Mason Benson. Yeah. But I didn't know, you know, I don't know how often people want to use it. And do we issue like cards for the locks and stuff for a certain period of time? How does that?
So they have paperwork that they have to fill out that comes to the admin office and they're vetted that way. And they present the insurance there. And from there, once they're granted access and sign the agreement, then they are issued a very controlled fob to the building that only lets them in at certain times, certain hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And very neat.
All right. Well, that's it for policy reading.
Yay.
We have the approvals and future agenda items. We've got our September board meeting. That is the 24th. That on our calendars. We'll have stipend approval for what we didn't pass. And then possible visit from Travis Couture.
We should probably add the other agreement that the bargaining agreement.
The
It's actually
PSE.
PSC, yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Talking about the board retreat.
yeah,
Sherry's agreement.
yeah, Sherry's
Oh,
agreement.
That.
Okay, so now we're down to comments, reflections. I'll start with you, Debbie.
Sure. Thank you all for your patience while I was gone. I really appreciate it.
Glad
Because
to
it was
hear.
a pain in the ankle for me because you're trying to get me in and out and all that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate it.
Did you say pain in the ankle?
Yes.
I love it. I've never heard that before.
Seems appropriate for elementary school.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
The meetings even from a distance were good. And I liked the open house the other night. It was, controlled, kindness, kids were so happy. There's nothing better than the first day of school. There just isn't anything ever. If you've been in one and part of it, it's just, I like it all. I'm trying to put things special. I don't know. I'm just glad to be back.
Thank you. Les?
Oh, well, I am very, very excited about what Cindy was talking about, the life skills. You know, I'm a complete gaming nerd, and so the tabletop games, I really perked up with that. And I have a ton I can donate. Yeah, a ton. But I might want to play them, so I need to talk to the teacher who's gonna handle it. Yeah, and I've got other friends that will like come and help teach them to the kids, but anyway, so I was just super excited about that, and I am so glad about Camp Seymour. You know, my kids went there, Claire just absolutely loved it. We could barely, she didn't, you know, we'd have to drag her into the car to come home, right? And so I was afraid of losing, because it is a tradition, it goes way back. And so I'm happy the community's stepping up, and I think Tom can help alert the lakeside about the need, right? And hopefully we can get some takers on that. Except for my neighbor, he might call him. But yeah, and the budgeting that, I mean, you know, it's first day of school, so there's plenty of time to get screwed up, but it looks pretty good right now, right? So that's, you know, I'm no complaints. I'm excited about what's happening here. Yeah.
Thank you. Tom?
Steve and I walked in together today and he commented first on his perception that the community, and he's from the Grapeview side, the saltwater side.
Yeah.
That we have a good school here and good things are happening. And a sign of a good organization is when there are transitions in the people on the team that hope we don't miss a beat. And that's what I've experienced certainly in this most recent change, where we have a new principal, and we have a new HR/finance/buses/everything else, and we're not missing a beat. And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to work with this school/district and the people that are in it, and the reports of the first day of school and some of the other things that have happened. Just their confirmation that we're moving in the right direction and we're getting the things done that we need to get done. And the last thing I want to say is I've worked for 4 decades in business, and all of that was involving technical people doing jobs in industry. And I got a degree in 1970, and 70% of the things that contributed to my getting a degree were a waste of my time and didn't contribute significantly to my career and everything else. So having experienced that and then watching the desperate need of technical people, and you can categorize anything you want. Working in a restaurant, working in a machine shop, working in a car dealership, repairing cars, driving a truck, driving a bulldozer, and on and on and on. So for us to have the emphasis on CTE that we do, and to get the ability or the opportunity to participate in this ELMA thing with our 8th graders, it's right on. We're doing the right things we need to do for our students.
That's gonna change lives.
Yep.
It's gonna, I mean, that's very exciting.
That's it for me, thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Well, I just want to thank you all for tolerating me today. Second meeting. Thank you, Wes and Tom, for having the patience. I really appreciate it. No, and it's the little things that mean to me. I'm excited for the camp as well. That's something, like I said, I went to as a kid and have fond memories, especially the second night. The night walk is, that's where it's at, where they show you the bioluminescence and chew on the, they have you chew on a lifesaver, the mint lifesavers, and you can see it spark from the inside. Yes. Obviously, the little things that you remember, right? And yeah, the CT, like Wes and Tom are saying, like, I'm a hairdresser, I am all for the career and trades, and I will die on that hill. And for these kids to get that opportunity is huge. It's huge and it is life changing, and for somebody to come in and speak words into their little ears and plant that little seed is very important. So that's what I want to end on. Just these little guys are definitely growing seeds, and we just want to enrich them and see them flourish. Yeah, and thank you for stepping up, Cindy. It was nice to see you in the open house, and you were just calm, cool, and collected, and everybody else was doing their thing. So thank you for having a wonderful night and welcoming our children. So,
Maybe inside was a little different though, huh? You know, like you're anxious.
I'll never
Yeah, I'm glad to see you sweat. Can I just say one more thing? And I forgot, I was gonna say this, and I forgot. You were talking about the kind of assembly in middle school, right? The leadership type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think they still do it, but the Y had a program called Youth in Government, and I'm an alumni of that. I went through it. And it starts off at 7th grade and it continues on through your high school career. And you start off as a page and you move your way up through the political system, right? And it teaches you the full in and outs of politics. And you know, for a week, a year, you take over the Capitol and you try to pass bills and you do all the things that a politician would do, except actually get bribed, right? With real money. You get bribed with other things, you know, like, hey, I'll give you a Coke if you vote for my bill or whatever, right? But it is a fantastic leadership program. And you know, some kids, you know, rise and like run for governor and run for lieutenant governor, and it's really complicated, but it's a really good program. There's a lot of camaraderie and the being an alumni sort of helps you out later in life. So yeah, I don't know. It might be something to look into. I don't know if the program exists out here in Mason County. But if it doesn't, it should. Yeah, so. All right, sorry, Jerry.
Me?
yeah, Jerry?
Let's see. So, thank you for review. It's great when you take that on and really respect that. Something that stands out to me, and I saw it today, and it's the school climate, and it comes from the board on down, but we hired a number of people. Cindy did a great job of getting those people on board, but one of the things that people are begging for special ed teachers, and Julia wanted to work for us, right? And she doesn't live very close, but she wanted to be here. We got her to be here and work for us, and then we posted our third grade teacher job, and we had, how many applicants? I think it was over 30.
Wow.
And that's not because we're the best paying, right?
Yeah.
And it's because we pay a fair wage and we are a good place to work and so. And that's not me, it's not just Cindy, it's a collective, it's the board, it's the teachers and it's everyone. And so that, when we talk about getting feedback, right, of how you're doing. You can do a survey, right, but you can also look at, I got 30 teachers who wanted to come work here.
Yeah, that's amazing, and,
And
yeah,
and so that is a form of feedback in and of itself, about how we are doing, so.
I was thinking about that, Jerry, when Tom was talking about reducing the bar to become a teacher, right? And I was thinking, well, geez, we just.
We don't have any trouble, yeah.
Yeah, anyway,
So anyway, that's my thoughts, my feelings about today and the collective of Grapeview and the feedback that speaks to me on the work we do. That's all I have.
Okay. All right. Any other comments?
move to adjourn.
All right. Need a vote?
You don't need a second.
Yeah, I don't need a second. Okay, well then I adjourn the meeting
Yeah.
at 6:43.
On the alternative to certification, it's an interesting thing because it's not exclusively lowering standards. It's kind of a curious thing. I had my flight doctor.
Yeah.
When I flight exam, he's a doctor. And he applied to biology at the high school. They would not hire him because he's an architect. Certificated. Even though he was, right, even though he was way up here in terms of his knowledge.
Yeah.
They could not hire him for that. It's just for, like, right now I have those in my community as a JV. He's a lawyer. And how he had extensive experience as in college.
See, and I'm okay with.
I'm gonna look at.
Yeah.
Subject matter experience,
Right.
I'm not okay with.
My, Thank you.
You know.
And I'm a teacher.
It's like,
That's not.
no, but a good subject matter, probably get that.
Well, then I'll be in here, and then